Okay, you are definitely in for a treat today. If you're excited by the idea of holding a device that kind of blends console gaming, with all the flexibility of PC gaming, well, then you've landed in the right spot because we have got some pretty juicy leaked images pointing exactly towards that kind of future.
Exactly. Yeah, today we're really digging into the details around Microsoft's Project Kennan, which looks very much like an Xbox-branded PC handheld.
Hmm.
And there are also some leaked visuals that strongly suggest we're getting a peek at the next ROG Ally 2 as well.
Right.
And the source here, it's reports focusing on FCC filings. B-Bomb covered it well. So this isn't just guesswork. These things seem to be going through actual regulatory steps.
Okay, so that gives it some real weight. Our mission, then, for you listening, is to cut through the noise, give you the key details from these leaks, what it all could mean for, well, for your gaming life, and frankly, why it's pretty exciting stuff.
All right.
All right, so let's dive in. These FCC filings, what did they actually show?
Well, the main thing is images. Images of two distinct handheld gaming devices. And these aren't just like drawings. They look like photos of real hardware. One's black, very sleek, clearly got Xbox branding. There's even what looks like a dedicated Xbox button right on it. That's what everyone thinks is Project Kennan.
Okay.
And then there's this white one. It looks a lot like the current ROG Ally. So the strong suggestion is, yeah, that's probably the ROG Ally 2.
Wow, okay. Two potential heavy hitters possibly revealed together. Let's focus on Project Kennan first, an Xbox handheld running PC games. That's pretty mind-blowing, isn't it? What do the leaks suggest is, under the hood? What makes it run?
Yeah, what's really interesting about Kennan is the talk of co-development with Asus, which, makes a ton of sense given their work on the first ROG Ally. They really pioneered that space. Spec-wise, the leak mentions an AMD Ryzen Z2 Extreme processor. That's an 8-core chip, high-performance mobile stuff.
That's how you do Extreme?
And get this, 64 gigabytes of LPDDR5X memory.
64 in a handheld.
Yeah. I mean, that's more RAM than a lot of gaming laptops, right? Plus a reported 36W TDP, thermal design power. That kind of points to how much power it can handle cooling-wise and suggests, sustained high performance is the goal. And yeah, those Xbox buttons are a dead giveaway about the ecosystem.
64 gigs of RAM. Wow, that really does sound like they're not messing around. A really no compromises kind of approach.
Yeah.
And that Ryzen Z2 Extreme, that's serious hardware. So top-tier performance seems to be the aim. But how does it all come together? Like, what OS are we expecting?
The leaks point strongly towards a customized version of Windows 11.
Okay.
Now, this is where it gets really interesting if you connect the dots. A tailored Windows 11 could mean, well, the best of both worlds, potentially. Think about it.
Yeah.
Direct access to Game Pass for PC, your whole Steam library, Epic Games Store, basically any PC game. And that fits perfectly with what Microsoft's been saying, bridging console and PC gaming, making it seamless. Yeah. So this isn't just like a portable Xbox console. It's more like a streamlined Windows PC that's deeply tied into the Xbox world.
That is a really compelling idea. Jumping between your console, your PC, this handheld, all in one ecosystem. Huge potential draw there. Now, the leaks also showed what we think is the ROG Ally 2.
Yeah.
What stands out there based on what we've seen?
Right, the white model. The specs leaked for that one mention an AMD Aerith Plus processor. That's reported as a 4-core chip.
Okay, different chip then.
Yeah, and the TDP listed as 20 watts, which is, noticeably lower than Kennan's 36W.
Okay.
So that lower TDP, it might suggest more of a focus on balancing performance with energy efficiency, maybe better battery life. That's often the trade-off.
That makes sense.
Interestingly, both devices, according to the leaks, apparently have a 7-inch 120 hertz display, which is great, smooth visual. But for the ROG Ally 2 and these leaks, the memory, it's just listed as unknown. So that's still a big question mark for that particular model.
Gotcha. So similar screens, high refresh rate on both, potentially.
Yeah.
But the guts seem different. Kennan going for raw power, maybe the Ally 2 aiming for that sweet spot of performance and battery. Stepping back a bit, just the fact that Project Kennan exists, especially with Asus involved, what does that tell us about Microsoft's bigger strategy here?
That's a really key question, I think. Look, even though Kennan probably isn't a native Xbox handheld, like running a dedicated Xbox OS, the fact they're developing it, apparently with a major player like Asus, and integrating it so deeply with Windows and Xbox, it signals a really significant strategic move.
Yeah, feels like it.
They're clearly aiming for a big presence in this portable gaming market, which is just booming, right? They're not just sticking to consoles and cloud. They want a piece of the dedicated handheld pie, and they're leveraging their huge game libraries, PC and Xbox, to do it. And the talk of a potential reveal at Build or Computex next year, that kind of underlines how serious they are about this.
It really feels like those old lines between platforms are just getting blurrier and blurrier, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Now, something that was mentioned briefly in, I think it was the B-Bomb report, the recent price hikes for Microsoft. Consoles, games, things have gotten more expensive. Do you think that gives us any clue about how these new handhelds, especially the Asus one, Project Kennen, how they might be priced?
That's a sharp question. Yeah, you have to consider the current market, right? And Microsoft has adjusted its pricing lately. High-end parts like that Ryzen Z2 Extreme, 34 gigs of fast RAM. I mean, that stuff isn't cheap to source.
No, definitely not.
Plus, the Asus partnership brings their own costs and expertise into the mix. So, while it's way too early to know for sure, it wouldn't be a shock if Project Kennen, aiming for that premium performance tier, if it lands with a price tag reflecting that, reflecting the components and the market.
Yeah, something we'll definitely need to watch. Okay, so let's try and wrap up the key points from this deep dive into the leaks. We've got strong hints, really strong, of 2 new handhelds coming. Project Kennen, Xbox branded, PC powered, seems co-developed with Asus, aiming for top performance. Z2 Extreme, that huge RAM, custom Windows 11, really trying to merge Xbox and PC on the go. And then the likely ROG Ally 2, maybe taking a slightly different tack. Potentially focusing more on efficiency with that lower TDP chip.
Precisely. Yeah, these leaks, they offer a really fascinating window into where handheld gaming might be heading and, Microsoft's big ambitions within that whole changing landscape.
So, for you listening, what part of this potential blend of Xbox and PC in your hands, what really jumps out at you? Does that idea of one powerful device tapping into like both massive game libraries, does that excite you? What does that make possible for, how and where you play?
It really makes you wonder about the future of gaming overall, doesn't it? I mean, are these leaks showing a major step towards a much more unified, truly portable gaming world? Are we just seeing those lines between consoles and PCs continue to dissolve with devices like these becoming, I don't know, a central way we game in the future? It's definitely something interesting to think about.